So I'll just kind of roll through, and it's probably going to be rough, but I'm sure you can edit.
This is Derek.
At public speaking used to the thought of doing it.
Derek has a story just for you.
Back when I was younger, I grew up in church. I was baptized in church. Really just didn't have a relationship with God. Didn't read my Bible. I showed up on Sundays, showed up on Wednesdays, and that was pretty much the extent of my relationship with God. Didn't really know Jesus and the Holy Spirit that well. And so when I went through difficult times in my life, I let those things separate me very easily because I wasn't connected to the Word, because I didn't know really who Jesus was. I knew religion just as a ritual, as a habit of going to church every day, but I didn't really know Jesus. I didn't know the Holy Spirit. And so when life's trials and tribulations came along, I stopped going to church, stopped reading the Bible, stopped associating with a group of believers, and fell into a life of sin. And so, long story short, God had to take me all the way to the end of myself. So I became addicted to drugs. Didn't have any friends, was on the borderline of getting locked up, arrested. And one night I just got down on my knees and I said, Jesus, I know you're real. God, I know you're real. I know this can't be the plan that you have for my life. I don't know what to do. Can you just help me, show me what to do? And I cried out to him. And ever since that night, he picked me up and put me on his shoulders. I got back into reading the Word, got back to going to church, got a community of believers around me. And God turned what used to be sin and shameful to me, that I was embarrassed of, now He's turned that into a testimony for me to be able to share with other people. And now I go into county prison and we share the gospel with inmates. And so I'm able to share that story of where I came from and my testimony. And that it's freeing. And after Jesus changes you like that, you want to share that with other people. Like it's a just innate drive to, when you see all these lost people around you, you're like, I've been there. I know where you're at. And then you bend down to help them. And it really blesses them to know. I think that they look around at church people or spiritual people and they look at us and they're like, oh, they've got it all together. I could never be like that. But once we let them know, like, hey, I've been there, that level of honesty really just draws people to Christ. And then I'm able to connect with them, and then I share the gospel with them. And we've seen that happen in the prisons time and time again. Every time we go in, we share our testimony and then we share the gospel, and it's so powerful. And so I just want to encourage you, it doesn't matter what you're going through, how far you think you've gone from God, you can't go too far for Him to reach down and pick you up. Sometimes it just takes a person praying for you, interceding for you, ministering to you, just being there when you don't know what else to do. And so I just want to encourage you to come out on June 6th, 7th, and 8th to Spartanburg. We're having a revival. We're going to have great praise and worship. You're going to bring your lost friends, bring your saved friends. People are going to be called into ministry locally, overseas, in their own churches. He's going to release something inside of people that people have just been holding back. And so I just want to encourage you that it doesn't matter where you're at. If you've got family, friends that are lost, bring them. If you've got believer friends that they could be led to go around the world. You can never know what God has planned, but I can tell you that God has some great things in store for Spartanburg, South Carolina in this revival, and we look forward to seeing you there.